Tell me a bit more about what you shared about music. What role does music play in your life?
Sure. So I got into music when I was very young. Probably it has always excited me listening to music. During the olden days, when probably you were also in India at that time, we used to have this wedding band,
Mm.
which will carry the groom, and there was a wedding band in front of the groom. So I remember when I was really very small, if there was a wedding in the nearby neighborhood, I would like really run out of my home to listen to that music. So I don't know why it was there. I think it's a God's gift that music excited me, and I kept learning various instruments. And currently, I play guitar, I play saxophone, and I also dabble on piano a little bit.
Mm.
Music has been extremely important part of my life now because it
Mm.
keeps me stable, it keeps me sane, it gives me the creativity, which helps me continue gaining further, continue growing because music is so vast. You can continue learning. You never have it all. You keep
Yeah.
learning. You keep ushering into the new genres. You
Mm.
keep listening to new music. So I think that keeps me very expansive, so to speak. It
Yeah.
helps me continue into various dimensions of life.
Mm.
I am born in India. I love Indian classical music. And that's what I've tried to vibe in my music as well. Being a teenager at that time, you would love the rock music, rock and roll. So that's also a very important part of my life. I enjoy classical music in the contemporary style, so that gets me.
Mm.
Nowadays, really understanding the fusion music, and that's another world. So there are different sides to this music as an aspect, or as a hobby, or as a study.
Yeah.
That it keeps really grounded. It tells me there's so much to learn, and it keeps you going on because in life you have dull moments. Whether professionally you have dull moments, so you need
Yeah.
something back upon, something to maybe keep you stable and then guide you. So music
Yeah.
has been that very important aspect of my life.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I want to ask you, how does that play a role in your business, in your day-to-day work? Because you earlier shared about responsibility, right? Just being a part of a family which has
Yep.
been in business. There is a responsibility. There is responsibility about ethics, and that can many times create like pressure or a burden. And if you see people at work, many times people are very stiff, like very serious and very like not flexible. And what you said is about music, is about creativity. And how do you balance these, like this big responsibility, commitment, profits, cash flows with a creative side of you? So does that spill into your work, and does that create an advantage, or how do you manage these two different sides of yourself?
Sure. Thanks for asking that question. So I think there are a few lessons from the music. And one of the things is that earlier music would play a much bigger role into life and I would spend a lot more time with music. But
Mhm.
now with growing responsibilities and also your responsibility as a father, as a husband, so you have to dabble those also carefully. So now it plays an important role, but not as much time as I would have done initially or in my previous years.
Mm.
But still, there has been a major learning that has happened with music. First is that because I've been a musician and I work with other musicians, I've been a band. You do understand, you work with other people and they're all very creative, they could be very esoteric also at some times. Music has taught you to work within a different styles of people. It could be
Mm.
coming from backgrounds, different choices, different music choices, different life skills. So you are collectively making music. So I think that's the same thing which helps you at your workplace also because there are different people coming from different background, could be better than you or maybe not be as good as you. You're still putting everything together so that people can create better work or in a sense better music. So I think it's an ecosystem that develops itself. So music for me is an ecosystem, and it's the same thing that implies on to all the people that I work with on a day-to-day basis. We are all connected with one common theme, and that is to being productive and bring something on the table and leave all the baggage behind and come to work every day. It's the same thing with music. When playing my guitar or playing my saxophone, I have left everything behind and I'm just there in that music and I'm very focused. It's almost like a meditation to do that.
Mm.
It's the same thing. When I open an Excel sheet and I'm working on it, I am trying to create music out of it. I look at the numbers like a musician looking at the notation and I try to make sense of it and see what's going on. And if you're completely focused there, everything jumps out to you. and
Yeah.
then you make your assumptions and it helps you make better decisions. First thing.
Mm.
Second, being a musician has made me very patient because you have to sit and learn. It's not easy. It's not a sport where you have to continue run around something or you keep moving. You have to settle, sit, and you have to learn music. It's a tough thing to be the business also. Sometimes you have to just sit
Yeah.
patiently, look at the business, look at the problems of your employees, look at what are the opportunities in your work that you
Mm.
want to go for, and then realize that, hey, I have done this there when I was a musician, when I was in my practice room. It's the same thing. You're here in your office and you are sitting and patiently looking at the problem at your hand.
Mm.
So that has helped.
Yeah.
And the thing which I would just like to touch upon is that being a musician and being a lover of music, you listen to bands from different countries, from worldwide. I love bossa nova music, which originated in Brazil, and I enjoy it. And suddenly connects me to the people of Brazil. And there's a common theme now. It's I want to talk to anybody in Brazil. Similarly, if I look at anybody else who is, let's say in Europe, even in Netherlands, and Netherlands is big in the classical music, Western classical music. So I instantly can connect with the people there because of the music that comes from there. And if I pick any other European country, maybe Italy or maybe Germany, France is so big in music. So each of the
Yeah.
countries bring their flavor. So I think that just opens up your mind to work with different set of people. So today I'm just not an Indian, I'm a global citizen. So I could be talking to anybody, anywhere.
Mm.
And I'm already consuming the content that they have created for their own set of audience. But even I'm living worldwide, I can just create and consume anything I want.
Yeah.
So this particular flow of this information and being open and receptive to
Mm.
work with anywhere in the world, I think that is beautiful thing that has happened with music.
Yeah. Thank you for connecting the dots. I think leadership is as much of an art, right? And if it is an art, then everything helps you, right? So being with music allows you to be more patient, more like able to listen to people, work with others, empathize with others better. And
Yeah,
thank you for adding that, right? So we normally would not suggest any business leader to dabble into an art, but having that as a passion already makes you like so much more connected. I think you gave an example of Brazil, but I think India itself is so huge and diverse that it's so easy to get caught up in one ideology or one way of thinking. But
yeah,
what you're describing just opens you up and makes everything easier, both easier in terms of solving problems, but also easier in terms of finding new opportunities as well, which like any business leader has to do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
much. There's absolutely so much. I think even if you're suggesting for a leader, I think it's
Mm.
very important for them to pick up some hobby or some art. Reading is a great hobby, which a lot of leaders have. And I think
Yeah.
it definitely helps. Others, if somebody is not reading, you could be gardening. Gardening as a is beautiful because you are, playing with these plants and you are actually cutting them in and you're waiting for the plant to bloom and you're watering it. It's a very nice hobby as well because you have to be very patient and you
Mm.
have to be focused and you are dealing with things which are maybe not as natural as human beings. So
Yeah.
it connects you with the other dimensions of life. You're all part of the universe. So having that ability to connect with others, it just really helps.